Welcome back to the class, everyone. Today we do not have a GAC related video. We're actually going to be talking a little bit about Proving Grounds. It's the event that just dropped today. This is a way, it's supposed to be a catch-up mechanic for newer players to go ahead and get the older characters in Conquest. And for whatever reason, there is a glitch in the game right now. I don't think this is intended, where they're letting everyone be able to do this event, even the people who have both the characters that you need, or that you can get through this, that you weren't supposed to be able to do this. Like CG very clearly said, this is not supposed to be a form of shard shop currency. This is supposed to be a way for newer players or people who just missed it in Conquest to get Razor Crest and Cat. Although for whatever reason, we have both these characters at 7 stars. We've had them both at 7 stars for a very long time. And for whatever reason, we still have this event available to us. That's kind of cool. I got to test it out, got to play around with it. So my initial... I do have quite a few thoughts on it. My initial reaction as far as the event itself goes, I kind of like the event. It's not really overdone. They didn't put a lot of neat mechanics in it, kind of like they did with the Gas and the Malik event, where it was a very specific kind of puzzle to be able to beat it. They just made it lore accurate, and they made it fairly difficult, which I don't know how I feel about that yet. So this is the event to get Razor Crest, and this just makes sense. Mandalorian, Razor Crest, spoiler alert, Moff Gideon is the one responsible for the death of the Razor Crest. So this battle just kind of makes sense, having Moff Gideon lead in there. It's pretty cool. We're not going to run the entirety of that battle, but I was doing a lot of testing on the Cat battle, and it's kind of hard. It's kind of difficult. So we're going to go ahead and get to that footage here. What I wanted to do is take in a bunch of teams that would probably be normal for a 4 million account to have, because you have to have at least 4 million GP to be able to enter into this event. In the beginning, that caused a lot of uproar, but I'm looking back on it now, seeing the difficulty of this event, I'm not sure if that matters. Granted, there's always the exception. There's always the player below 4 million that would have the team to beat this, but the event's pretty hard. So we started with Darth Revan here, and Darth Revan isn't the best counter in the game to Maul. And also, this is not a well-developed strategy. I didn't like change mods here. I just threw in the team, went with the typical strategy that you'd use with Darth Revan, and we kind of get torn to shreds. And it's not really even close. So yeah, and I was a little bit limited here. I do have an endgame account, but I don't have every character at R3, so we weren't able to, for example, test Jedi Knight Revan. He was one of the ones that I wanted to test, because I think he's probably a pretty good team that people at 4 million have. We did take in Gas, though, and I thought Gas would do pretty well, because in PvP, Gas does all right, depending on who the sides are. Because, yeah, these sides are not, like, the best sides in the world for Mandalorians. Like, Canderous Armor, Bo-Katan will all probably be better. But at the same time, there is a mechanic within Proving Grounds that we've seen before, I believe, in the Galactic Challenge with Mandalorians, where every time they're hit, they gain a certain type of buff that allows them to counter, like increases their damage or something like that. But yeah, Gas, it's very similar to Darth Revan, just kind of gets his butt handed to him here. So, and the AI doesn't even play it right. They trigger 5 sack, which is really bad. You don't want to do that if you're fighting Gas. You want to kill 5 so they don't get all those bonus stats to their 3 characters. And we get that. Gas even is able to stand back up really before anyone dies. And it's still not a pretty battle. We are slowly gaining a decent amount of offense from the amount of buffs they have going up on their team. But, I mean, yeah, Maul just comes in and he just takes everyone out. And again, this battle is similar, or it's lore accurate, I guess, because Cat would have definitely faced Maul and the Mandalorians at the end of Season 7. Solo Gas, I think if you played this enough times, this probably just works. But again, I have a very endgame account. I have an R8 Gas, I have an R8 Arc, I have an R7 5s, and I have the mods to go with it. Not to brag, but just as a where my account is, I'm top 500 in GAC, and we're kind of getting our butt handed to us here. So we take in Jedi Knight Luke. Like I said, I don't have Jedi Knight Revan up to speed, so I figured let's test this out and see how it goes. And I mean, my Hoda's pretty fast. A lot of my characters were at least 320 there, and I feel like that's a decent amount of speed, especially for a 4 million account. That might be the equivalent of their best mods. And yeah, we just kind of get our butt handed to us here. I mean, so Maul, it takes him a minute to get everything going. Granted, we did bring in a Kenobi, so we gave Maul a free 5 stacks there, but at the same time, this wasn't exactly close. So the difficulty is definitely a downside to Proving Grounds. I kind of wish it was just a little bit easier, or there was some type of puzzle mechanic to it, very similar to the Malik event. This doesn't seem really like a puzzle event. This just seems straight out difficult. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something again. This isn't meant to be a guide for how to beat Proving Grounds. But we have to take in our GL, and I want to specifically test SLKR because I know that he is a Galactic Legend that a lot of people are getting pretty quickly in the early game. And again, end game mods, our SLKR is not of the highest relic. He's only R7, but again, I think that's probably good for testing because we're not just going to give someone unrealistic expectations of using an R9 SLKR. But yeah, I mean, Maul just still comes in and he does a pretty big number on the team. We are able to get to ult charge pretty quickly, and that does help, especially because once we get a little bit later in the fight, once the Mandalorians get the stack of their buff they have there, it becomes really, really hard to survive the amount of damage that they have coming out. So we're able to get the ult here. That's really nice. But yeah, so I don't know how doable Proving Grounds is going to be if you don't have a Galactic Legend. I think you might be able to soup up maybe a bunch of mods on gas and keep trying again and again and again for the right RNG. But this isn't super... It's not easy. It's not easy by any means. But I don't know if that was the reason why they gated this at 4 million, if they gated it at 4 million just because of the... You have to be 4 million to get into Conquest Hard mode, but... Yeah, it's not looking very good. I'm guessing any GL probably does well against this. I didn't test any of the other ones because, you know, plot twist or spoiler, this does work, and we just kind of take the kill. We get our free shard shop currency this time around. But yeah, I kind of like that this glitch or whatever happened, and it showed that we were able to do it, because this kind of gives everyone a perspective of how difficult it really is. We're not taking in kind of a quote unquote weaker account. We have a good account. But yeah, so that was it. One positive thing, we've been kind of negative in this video about Proving Grounds, something that I didn't think happened or was going to happen, is it looks like they're going to let you do both. It looks like they're going to let you do both. One of my big issue with Proving Grounds, at least what it seemed to be when they had announced it, is that it seemed like you could only do one at a time. And I hope this is the way that it's meant to be, that you can do all of them. Because this method of 20 shards a month, that's gonna take a while. And if you have to sit here and pick and choose which one you want to do, that's going to take even... I mean, we're looking at... I'll get on my calculator. You guys can't see it, but yeah, 330 shards divided by 20. That's 16 months. So a year and 4 months, that's a really long time to farm a character. And if you're having to do that one at a time, you're never, ever going to catch up. Even with these refreshes, which are... I know the price looks ridiculous, but at least it's a little cheaper than shipments. I don't know, but... So overall review, it's honestly probably hard enough to warrant the 4 million, despite some players probably being able to do it. Really, really, really love that they let you do multiple at the same time. That way you can work on Cat, you can work on Maul, you can work on Razor Crest all at the same time. I really hope that does not change. I hope that they, even if this is not what they meant it to be, I hope this is just kind of the thing like they did in TB, where they left it for 36 hours and like, oh, you know, we'll change it to 12 hours because this... And this is not a very good catch-up mechanic if you have to... It takes 16 months to farm a character, and you can only do one at a time. If you can do them all at once, that changes things a little bit because you don't have to sit there and pick and choose if you want Cat or if you want Maul or if you want Dad Bob Boba or whoever. But yeah, overall, not sure how I feel about it. I think... Yeah, I would like it to be better. The event itself, I think, is fine. The difficulty, even though it is really hard, but I think the shards should be coming at a faster pace. I think they either needed to give a higher shard amount, the crystal refresh price needed to be a lot cheaper so that it would be accessible to really everyone, or they would just remove the amount of refreshes you can do, period, because I believe this is at a 2 refresh limit. Yeah, well, one of those things or several of those things need to budge, otherwise this just isn't... This isn't going to be good. I know that the Conquest characters are very good, and they're supposed to be better than a Marquee, so they should be harder to get than a Marquee. I don't necessarily want them on a node, but I think this game mode could have been done a little bit better. So those are my overall thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I know there's kind of a lot of controversy / negativity going around here. But yeah, just trying to give it a thorough analysis and seeing if CG will choose to change anything, because conquest characters are a very big deal. They're a very big part of this game, and they're not going away anytime soon. So remember to like and subscribe, and as always, stay awesome.